So there's few better feelings than that solid drive, good club head speed, long and straight. But unfortunately, for a lot of us, age doesn't help. And if you're a senior golfer, or maybe a golfer that just feels they lack a bit of flexibility, that first swing is something that you don't feel you can do. And far too often nowadays, you see more of this. So it might be in play, but the speed's way down, carry distance is way back, and at 202 yards, it's okay, but it really feels like I'm costing myself a huge amount of distance. Like I said there, senior golfers and golfers who feel that they lack a bit of flexibility kind of think that first swing is something that I can never ever achieve. And even though I can't promise that club head speed, even if you lack flexibility, you can definitely move bigger and more free than you currently do. So that second swing I did, which is what I see a lot of golfers do, is from a decent address position. They kind of feel that they want to keep that lower body very, very stable, allowing them to get a good strike on the golf ball. But when that lower body stays very stable, very restricted how far the hips can move, therefore the upper body and the shoulders. And if the club's only getting this far back, unless you're someone like Jon Rahm who can generate some huge club head speed, you're just not going to get that distance. So we're going to work on how you're going to use your body better to get that club traveling a much bigger distance on the way back, give the club longer to accelerate, more club head speed, and ultimately hit the ball further. So the first thing I want you to work on is the backswing feeling. So as you get the club swinging back, I want you to feel that that trail leg, instead of the knee staying very, very flexed and really restricting the hip turn, we're going to let that leg straighten. And then again, we can see how much further back I can get the club, because with a flexed knee, I'm very restricted. As the leg straightens, you can see the upper body turns much more. Now, I think for a lot of golfers, it just feels less controlled. And I don't mind initially in practice if we're a little offline, but we have to feel more range of motion, therefore the club can accelerate for longer. So if we just start off with that backswing thought, straighten the trail leg, and let's see what that does. So very, very different. So we go from, for me, 101 mile an hour to just under 107. The carry went from 156 to 240, and the total from 202 to 265. Now, you might suddenly go, wow, that'll do me. And in practice, you might be working through this. You might go, I don't even need the bit in the downswing, because that could be a game changer for me. Very possibly. But if you could do that and the bit in the downswing, that's going to make an even bigger difference. So we're almost looking for the downswing to be a little bit of a mirror of that backswing. So on the way back, we're going to let that trail leg straighten, that big turn, lots of distance to the club head. Now, as the club starts coming down, we're going to slam that lead foot down. We're going to then straighten the lead leg. A couple of things that's going to do. It's going to generate a little bit more speed because you're pushing into the ground. It's also going to help move the low point a bit further back. And hopefully you're aware that if we get that low point behind the golf ball, so the club's traveling up as opposed to down, not only are we going to swing quicker, but we're also going to maximize our driving distance. So we're going to have a little practice swing. Straighten this leg on the way back, this leg on the way through. And it feels quick. It feels really quick. Never worry about the lack of control thing. Lots of golfers tell me that quick means lack of control. I'm a big believer that quick just feels less controlled because it's less practiced. So, like I said, you're going to hit a couple of shots with that feeling. If you're working through it with me, if these are bad shots, you can blame me because I'm asking you to try something different. But we have to try this different to get that speed, get that distance, and it's so much more enjoyable when you can get that ball out there a bit further. So we're going to straighten the trail leg, maybe even let that lead heel come off the ground a little bit. That gets me even more. Slam the heel down and straighten the leg. And I do think that could be my swing thought all day long. So we go now to 110 mile an hour club head speed. Ball speed obviously goes up a little bit. 258 carry and nearly 282. But when you look at that, not only am I moving faster, but I'm also getting the ball nicely in play, very, very accurate. And that, if I'm being honest, didn't really feel that I was actually as aggressive as I could be with that lead leg. So let's go again. Straighten the trail leg, straighten the lead leg. And what do we notice when the legs straighten? As that leg straightens, the hip turns. As we plant the foot and straighten, the lead hip turns. So if you're that golfer that says, I've got no flexibility, I can't move. I'm not saying you're going to move like the best players in the world, but if your feet are planted to the floor, nobody has any ability to rotate. The best players in the world, when they're getting very open to target, that lead leg straight, that heel's off the ground, that's those hips moving out of the way. You cannot be mobile like that. That just will not work. So let's try and be nice and aggressive with this one. Straighten those legs nice and quickly. I want to just fade in a little bit. But again, 109 mile an hour club head speed. Ball speed very solid. Carrying over 250 and rolling out over 270. Now, I just think for a lot of golfers, they'll stand on the range, they'll do that and it'll be great. But then unfortunately, they get back onto the tee on the golf course and they go, right, I just need to get one in play. There it is, there's my controlled one. Club head speed's dropped off, ball speed's dropped off, distance has dropped off, and accuracy. So the controlled swing doesn't give you anything that you can really work with. It's not straight, it's not quick, the distance isn't there. But if you can get using those legs correctly, using the ground, getting the body with a bigger range of motion, you can stand there irrelevant of your flexibility and your age. Remember, the golf ball doesn't know how old you are or how flexible you are. Just knows what that club head does through impact. You can get there, hit those good solid ones with some good speed. And there's another one right in play, 109 mile an hour club head speed, 155 ball speed, 260 carry, and 285 total. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it. Comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's another video just there that hopefully will help with your game. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.